Well, welcome to another episode of the Dangerously Calm podcast. I'm really looking forward to chatting with Parker Farmer here, guy I've gotten to know over the last couple years, and excited to just learn more about him, his career, what got him into law enforcement, some tools he uses personally and professionally, you know, to just stay dangerously calm, like we said out there, whether it's on the job or you know, at home or in your regular life, right? And so I think just kind of give a little intro on, you know, what you're doing, the new promotion. I want to talk about that. And then we'll dive into some of the questions and just kind of get to chat a little more.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Yeah, man. That sounds great, Seth.
All right.
So obviously I'm at Palm Bay right now,
Right.
police department. I've been in our training and recruiting department for, you know, about 2 years. And I was fortunate enough to just get promoted. Excited about that.
Stoked. LT. So
Yes,
now
sir.
do you go
Yes,
straight
sir.
into an office?
No. I'm going straight into on the road. I'm going back to the road.
They let LTs out there on the road?
Yeah, man.
Okay. Well,
so I'm going to be back on the road. I do have an office. I will have an office.
All right. That's mandatory, right?
Mandatory.
Comes with the promotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I doubt I will be in the office.
I don't. You don't take me as an office guy.
Not an office guy, but but I'm looking forward to it. It's exciting times.
So when you get promoted as a lieutenant and you're back on the road, as you said, is that patrol mostly? I mean, do you have different responsibilities as a lieutenant when you're on the road than you do as another?
You do.
Rank?
We've got lieutenants have multiple different responsibilities throughout the agency. But my particular responsibility will be on the night shift, and I will ultimately be responsible for all of our officers working the night shift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as the night shift, I would imagine that's where
it's at.
That's where it's at, right?
That's where it's at.
You want to be on the night shift.
Night shift is where you want to be.
Yeah. Because that's you want to get out there and get the action and do the things, and so.
Yeah, not to mention, Seth, it's probably about 15 degrees cooler at night.
Oh yeah. So, and here in Florida, that's every degree cooler you can get, especially when you have to wear the uniform.
Oh yeah, man.
I feel so sorry when I'm driving up and down and I see, you know, the officers out there directing traffic or whatever, and they got
drenched.
I mean, geez, it's
drenched.
Just, I don't know how you do it. So.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. So 15 degrees cooler, which means it's only like 90, right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, not bad.
Exactly.
Well, yeah. What got you into, you know, law enforcement? What was your kind of path, and how did that come about?
Well, so I went to college out of high school, and
you're an athlete. Did you play sports growing up?
No, I did. I played sports growing up. I didn't play in college.
Gotcha.
No, I wasn't that good.
Yeah, I hear you.
But beside the fact, I did an internship with probation and parole in my last year of criminal justice, and man, I got to spend time with a lot of police officers, and they just looked like they were having fun at work.
Right.
And the guys I was working with didn't seem to be having as much fun. And I was like, I want to do that job.
Right.
And next thing you know, I'm in law enforcement academy, where I grew up, and I'm a police officer.
Right.
You know, 2007 started.
Started with Palm Bay then?
No, I started.
Where'd you start?
I started in North Carolina.
Okay. Yeah.
I started at a small agency in North Carolina, worked there for 4 years, and then made my way down to the Bay.
Down to the Bay.
Yeah,
yep,
man.
the Bay, as they say.
Yeah.
Palm Bay. And been there for 19?
I've got 19 and some change in law enforcement. I've been at Palm Bay for 15 and some change.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Nice.
Yeah.
And so just kind of making your way up the ranks there.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
And so you've also, I know when we first chatted, you've been in SWAT too, right? So what other roles have you had throughout your career? And, you know, a big part of what we'll talk about is just, you know, how, you know, mental fitness and other tools that you've learned over the years, or even through My Steady Mind, have helped you kind of navigate the different, you know, I'll say challenges or opportunities you've had throughout your career. And we've worked with a lot of SWAT. So I know that's a kind of high performing mindset, high performance team, but
it is. I'll talk about, you know, the roles that I've had, and then let's talk about mental fitness.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So throughout my career, I've been in field training. I've been a field training officer. I've done our crime suppression unit, done our narcotics unit. I've been on the SWAT team. I was on the SWAT team for 10 years. I've done our community resource unit also. I've done so much at that agency. I feel like I've gotten a good taste of all that we have to offer,
Right.
which is a lot of services for our citizens, which is great, but also, a lot of services people might not consider services like your narcotics teams that are going in and taking down your drug houses in your neighborhood, and
Right.
the ones your citizens call every day about, hey, drug deals going on.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get to see all the back end work we do on that, but
Right.
that was exciting.
Right.
But being on the SWAT team and having a chance to be a team leader on the SWAT team was awesome. It was awesome.
What were some of the things, and I want to get into a lot of what, especially just with your career over the last 19 years, a lot of the stuff I like to talk about, especially as I've had the chance to work with a lot of law enforcement, is kind of how things were before COVID,
Mm-hmm.
how things are post COVID.
Oh yeah.
Not just as an officer, just even within the communities and the challenges that, because that's what I've seen a lot. I mean, just everybody out there is kind of struggling with things, but one of our goals as a company with My Steady Mind was, when COVID was going down, we were watching some of the industries that were getting hit the hardest by it, and law enforcement was at the top. You are out there working and doing
Mm-hmm.
your thing. And so, yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that, just what it was like before COVID, how it's been during and since, what have you seen?
Well, before COVID, I don't know, like the challenges weren't as many. Let's just say that, right. So, we were we weren't really considered by the media the enemy, right? We really weren't portrayed as much as the enemy. During COVID, it was, hey, let's back off of any enforcement.
Sure.
Because, oh my gosh, you might get near someone and get sick and pass away, right? And then so law enforcement, you kind of saw like a hands-off kind of approach,
right?
And then you saw crime kind of escalate.
That's what happens.
What happens. And with the evolution of media, cameras, phones, and social media, that kind of happened around COVID,
right?
And then when we kind of realized that COVID really wasn't what it was,
right.
Then we started doing enforcement again and
getting back out there
and fighting crime.
Yeah, sure.
We got citizens that call in every day, traffic complaints, right?
Yeah.
So what do we do in response? We're trying to listen to our citizens and go out there and stop some cars, and that's what they want.
Right.
Slow people down. That's the goal. But moving through that, the media, like now we're starting to paint the culture of law enforcement of being evil.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, there's police officers out there that do some some stupid, let's say stupid stuff.
Yeah,
right?
You can say stupid shit.
Right.
Yeah, there's some people that do some stupid shit out there, and that's every industry. I mean, it's the thing that I've seen, and that's what and I'm not law enforcement, right? And so that was what I got to learn when we came in a few years ago and started working with police departments and law enforcement agencies, and that's what I learned. I got to learn just the nature of the stress. I mean, it's a stressful job as it is, right? And 99% of the people that I've ever met that go into it because they care and they want to do good and they want to help, right? And it's hard. And even one of the things that I found that I think made law enforcement even, I say, more of a challenge than as a veteran, right, coming from the military. Like I say, in the military, like we always kind of had a strategic advantage as to know what's going on and how to plan. And law enforcement's just, you never really know what's going on or what could happen or who the next threat could be. And that was all really, like I said, before COVID. And then part of what I've witnessed is the challenge it is for law enforcement to go out and do your job with this perception. When I say, like, COVID really screwed everybody up, made everybody unsteady, right? And so there's just this like unsteadiness, volatility. Everybody's kind of walking on eggshells, and everybody's got their cameras out and they're looking for somebody to be the bad guy and to blame. And it was just like, so I felt bad for, how a lot of law enforcement were getting portrayed. And, you see the one bad example, and that's what gets pushed out.
That's pushed out.
Represents everybody, and I'm like, no, that's not at all. You know, like these guys and girls are out there doing amazing work every day that you don't ever get to see. You know, saving lives, helping people, and it's just, you know. So I always want to make sure people understand that you know that's what law enforcement is truly about. You know, and I've been fortunate to get to come in and work with it, and I'm sure we'll talk about like some of the tools like mental fitness that are helping law enforcement thrive. Even when, you know, there's these challenges, not just within the job, but with the external that you have to manage and the perception. And so yeah, I can imagine like coming through COVID and then getting back out there.
Yep. Cameras in your face everywhere.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You know, it's like
everybody wants that viral clip, you know, or whatever.
They do. They want the viral clip and they want the quick, easy payout.
Yeah. Right. This super litigious world we live in where it's like, hey, what can I do to, you know, and they want to agitate and aggravate with their, you know, so it's just, that's why the mental fitness stuff is so important, right? Learning how to not take that bait.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And be present and keep yourself, I mean, you guys get trained all the time in de-escalation and regulation, but it's like, how do we make sure we are de-escalated when we got this chirping and stuff, you know?
You got the cameras on one side, and then you got the guy on the other that wants to arm you.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
right.
You got both.
Yeah,
and then over there you have probably a victim who needs some help.
Right. It's like, I'm trying to help that person. Would you guys quit? Like it's, and so that's a lot of this, just like all the damn, you know, we talked about mental fitness stimulus, you know, and just the stimuli that law enforcement people are exposed to. You know, external to the job. I mean, you guys deal with some heavy shit on the job, you know, and it's like, so, you know, yeah, talk to me a little bit about, you know, things you do personally with mental fitness, you know, and other things like that, and kind of, you know, got exposed to My Steady Mind a couple of years ago, and just how that's helped you as a person, as a man, you know, and then also in law enforcement. And why you think it's such a kind of a tool that could be beneficial to others.
Yeah, man, I'd love to. This could take a minute.
And we got an hour, you know, and so
all right.
And hopefully this is going good. My editing team wasn't here today, so hopefully this all gets squared away. If not, I'm sure we can do some post production. But
it's gonna be great, Seth.
Yeah, take your time. I mean, I want to dive in and really get into the meat and potatoes of it, so other folks out there that are watching can learn how they might be able to, you know, because we're just trying to help, you know, and I think the more people can learn some tools and techniques, the better, you know?
Absolutely. And I think where My Steady Mind differs from anything else is that My Steady Mind, it's more of a, hey, here's some tools to help you, keep you mentally fit, right?
Right.
So that you don't fall into that crisis.
Yeah. Right.
You know, all these other programs, they push therapy, right?
Right.
I heard a commercial on the way into work, or on the way in here today.
Yeah.
And it's talking about therapy cannabis, therapy mushrooms.
Yeah, every therapy.
Come see us, and we'll give you make your dog a therapy dog, so you don't have to pay for this, that, and the other for your dog. And I'm like, therapy is just that term is being widely misused almost.
That's the key right there. You know? And that's a big part of what we talk about, and we help educate people on with what mental fitness is, you know, and it's training, not treatment. Not that there's anything wrong with treatment or therapy, right? I've used both, and there's a time and a place, but, you know, we as a country kind of, and especially May's Mental Health Awareness Month, so that's what you're going to see a lot of right now is people coming out of the woodworks talking about, really all they're doing is glamorizing the problem. You know, especially in law enforcement. You know, I used to go to a bunch of conferences, wellness conferences in law enforcement.
I've been
you know what I mean? And you go and it's the same shit. It's people on stage glamorizing the problem, talking about the statistics, talking about the suicide, but there's no solution, right? And
there is, the solution is go to therapy.
Right. Go to therapy, which is usually designed to not actually fix you. You know, it's designed to keep coming back, you know, and talking about it. And so, again, not that there's anything wrong with therapy, but what I understand, and a big part of mental fitness and My Steady Mind, is there's people out there that are for that, and that's what they need. But
absolutely.
Right. But we are for the law enforcement, the construction folks, the surgeons, the people that are just like, hey, give me some tools that work right now I don't need you to tell me the story and the song and dance, right? Just give me something that makes sense. Don't treat me like I'm a piece of shit or broken, right? And present it in a way that's fun and effective, and that's and they'll lean into it. You know, we talk about like hiding the medicine in the cheese, like, hey, you know, and so that's our approach, you know, and you know, law enforcement, like veterans and others, like you guys are always training. Training is a word you understand.
Correct.
You know, and you understand physical fitness training, you know, so now we're giving you mental fitness. And so, because that's the most important thing, all that stuff we talked about that you're up against with the society and the perception and the people out there trying to agitate and get the thing is like, if you don't know how to just kind of like have some self-awareness, situational awareness, you know, we always say how to pause when pissed, you know, and that's what high performing mental training trains you how to do, you know, because there's not going to be any shortage of people trying to piss you off.
That's right.
Yeah, but that may be people you love or work with too, you know?
Right.
So,
you'll go to 12 calls for service with
yeah,
at least 9 of those with people trying to
just
piss you off.
that's you know.
That's funny. So yeah.
Talking about how mental fitness you think helps you and how you think it can help kind of the law enforcement industry. You know?
Mental fitness goes hand in hand with physical fitness, right?
Right.
So it's like training your body, train your mind.
Yeah.
And you do have to train your body. That helps train your mind, right?
Right.
Keeps your self-confidence up.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of it. But when we talk about my steady mind and some tactics, you know, like the pause when pissed, right? Easy. That's BAMO breath, you know, pause and breathe.
Right. Breathe.
Real simple.
Right.
It's a tactic that works.
And move on.
Correct.
Right? That's what makes the BAMO breath so, you know, we talk about, again, you can't just tell people, hey, just go out there and pause when pissed. You know, it's like it doesn't work if I just say, hey, go be fit. You have to do something, the exercises to learn how to do that. And that's what, you know, mental fitness is teaching them. And so we teach BAMO, right, which is a breath technique, a biohack that when I'm about to get pissed or I'm feeling pissed, I breathe. And then that second part, that move on, that's important, right? Move on. Get back into the call, get back into the task, right? Not just sitting here breathing. I can't just, you know, you need to get back into it.
And that's what, those are techniques that more of our guys need to use.
Sure.
Right? Because often, and then that's probably the biggest problem we see in law enforcement is guys take it personal when they're being verbally attacked.
Right.
Take a BAMO breath.
Yeah.
Right. Refocus. Let's go. It's not personal. You're here to do a job, and they're trying to agitate you.
Right.
So relax.
And that's the thing. It's when, you know, I say it all the time, it's psychological warfare out there. You know, not even with just law enforcement, just in society, you know, and that's a part of why a lot of these citizens or whoever out there that might be so agitated or irritated, because they've been conditioned, you know, by news or social media, you know, and so it's this like when everybody out there is kind of unsteady, as we call it, unsteady mind and volatile, like the people that the fabric of our culture, right? Law enforcement, healthcare, the people that have to make this thing run have got to make sure they know how to. And I love that you said, like, try, and it hard, don't take it personal. You know,
it's hard.
It's hard, you know,
it is.
And because it's our ego and it's our everything else. And so it's like what we teach and we call is that kind of like tactical emotional intelligence, right? Knowing that, hey, when I get up and I go into my shift today, like I just have to know that whatever comes at me is just, don't take it personal, you know? And that's where the breath and the awareness and the reframing your thoughts, you know.
That's where it's so important.
Yeah. Yeah.
So important.
Yeah.
And, you know, if I could tell any, you know, new officer coming onto the job today, that's what I would tell them. Don't take it personal. Breathe. BAMO breath.
BAMO. Right.
So
well, we teach, you know, a lot of folks, because a big part of where a lot of the stuff out there in the mental health landscape for especially like law enforcement, things like that, the reason it doesn't work is because it's just so kind of pie in the sky. It's ambiguous. There's no like, what do I take away or how do I apply it? It's just kind of talking about things, right? And mental fitness and what we do at My Steady Mind, and our whole goal is to try to make it, we say, sticky, right? So we use
So it
stars,
sticks.
so it sticks, right?
Yeah.
So we teach people like when you buckle, BAMO, right? So if you just tell everybody before you jump in your cruiser, you just know you condition them all that just every time you put a seatbelt on, you take that breath. We call it a little tactical pause, and now I fire it up and go.
Yeah, you get that hot call that comes in.
Yeah,
We're ready to go, lights and sirens.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You're in the parking lot of the police department.
Yeah.
Breathe.
Just
relax.
Yeah.
Take it slow.
Yeah. And that's the thing is it's simple. You don't have to overcomplicate it.
Mm-hmm.
If they can just understand like, okay, taking that BAMO breath. And I teach people, like I said, every time you put your seatbelt on, even your own, if you're at home, right, going to the grocery store, just get in the habit of buckling and BAMO. Buckling and
good
BAMO.
call. Good call. Yeah.
And it just creates that little pause because that's what you're trying to mitigate. Even if, I'm a trooper or whatever, and I'm on a phone call arguing with my husband or my wife about finances or bills, right? Some personal stressor, and then I get that work call that I got to go do X, Y, Z. And I just try to shift from kind of this to this. And I just get up and go. I'm kind of carrying that into this next thing, which increases. And so it's like just having that awareness of, okay, I got off the phone call. We know the kids are sick or finances aren't working, all the stuff we deal with, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
How do I just kind of now go?
I feel calm just looking at you.
Hey, you know what I mean? It's all it takes.
Yep.
It's counterintuitive for high performing teams. And this is a big part. And you probably did a lot of this with the SWAT team is the best teams, the highest performing teams know how to slow down.
Absolutely.
Slow down, right? In the military, we train, special operations. It's all about slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And so that's what, with SWAT and others, you guys, and I watch how you train, it's all about being intentional and slow and deliberate, which is not how most people go about their day.
It's not, and being slow and deliberate is absolutely, and that comes with time and training.
Mm-hmm.
It comes with time and training. When we're talking about, being on the SWAT team and being a patrol officer, on the SWAT team, you do get all that training. You get a ton of training, right?
Sure.
With your team, and you guys can slow things down because you're not in the OODA loop.
Right. Oh yeah, the OODA loop. Yeah.
Which those
Explain
breaths.
that. You want to talk about the OODA
Sure.
loop?
Observe, orient, decide,
and act. I think.
Yeah.
It's a kind of like STIA. If you remember STIA, stimulus, thought, emotion, action. So it's learning how to create that space between the stimulus and your thoughts.
Yeah. So we have to do that. If we get caught in that loop, then you get hyper focused, and then all you see is red.
Tunnel
right?
vision,
Tunnel vision, the whole nine.
Yep.
So with that training, you can effectively train yourself not to be in the OODA loop, but and BAMO breaths help.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. But the difference in SWAT and patrol, with SWAT, you train, you're with a team, and you know what you're going into.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a crisis there. You know who the bad guys are, if you will, or who the suspects are, who the victims are, where you're going. You know everything. But on patrol, you don't know anything.
No.
That's probably, and you got all this armor on SWAT. You're rolling up with bulletproof trucks. You got Bearcats. We got drones. We got all this gear on.
You feel safe. You feel
safe,
confident.
You're with a team who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
On patrol, man, it's you and somebody else going to a call, and you don't really have any idea what you're walking into.
Right.
None.
Yeah, and that's where it's understanding the importance, again, of having this tool of mental fitness. And we talked about it when we were doing our training, right, especially as law enforcement, is understanding you introduce yourself with your energy before you open your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like if I'm that officer and I just pulled somebody over, and I might be pissed about the way they were driving or what they did, or I might just be mad about my wife or ex-wife I just got off. But the secret is, like, you want to make sure you get yourself regulated before I step out and start walking. Because if I'm walking up, even if I'm smiling like I'm officer friendly, but inside I'm pissed and agitated, they feel that energy. And it might be the thing that just makes them feel they're already scared. Everybody that gets pulled over is worried or fearful, you know.
I get fearful.
Yeah,
When a police officer gets behind me, I'm like, oh no,
Yeah.
am I
Damn.
speeding? What am I doing?
Yeah. So that's what
Right.
that's why having this tool, just understanding like just the nature of, that everybody is already kind of out there just on this, just dealing with daily anxiety and stress and fear. It's the world we live in now because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But for officers, especially, like I said, you introduce yourself with your energy. So making sure you're regulated between getting out of your cruiser before they roll their window down,
Man,
and
that's it.
That's it,
But because you do see in like, the officers, they will get out and I look at videos all the time, all day. I've been working in training, and you see these videos, and it's like, hey, you approach that vehicle, and you just kind of
right.
You came off bad.
You came off bad,
and this is now the person you pulled over is going to give you that same energy.
That's right. It's contagious.
It is contagious. We got to tighten up a little bit on that.
Right. And that's, I love, and that's where you're helping them understand. It doesn't mean you have to be this happy-go-lucky. It doesn't mean it's understanding how to tactically, like, I don't care how pissed off you are because of whatever's going on. When I'm coming up, I need to make sure I'm staying regulated using techniques, right? And I'll talk why that's so important. We talked about it in our training for a bunch of reasons. One is that everything's about decreasing the probability of something getting sideways. And if I can come in and stay regulated, and then also even if they start getting under, just not take the bait, right? And
correct.
Stay in that, and so I can stay present and kind of aware, and that's where the training comes in, But the bigger thing that I think is so important, why we work with a lot of like veterans and cops and stuff like that is, we talk about the nervous system, and the sympathetic and parasympathetic. So sympathetic is fight or flight, parasympathetic's rest and digest. And why mental fitness training is so important for the sympathetic nervous system has one job, which is to keep us alive, right? And it's only supposed to activate if we're in danger. But we know most people do it the opposite. They get up in the morning and go right into it because they're pissed at everything. The finances, my kids are screaming, the traffic sucks, the work sucks. And so what happens is if you're in law enforcement and kind of you get up and you're getting pissed about all these things that aren't life-threatening, right? And then you go out there and you're doing your patrol and you pull somebody over or something goes down where there is something shitty gets sideways, right? Then that sympathetic nervous system's kind of compromised.
Yeah, you've been in it all day.
Right? So you can't move as fast, you can't think. So it's like training people how to create these ECRs, right? Your little morning emotional control routine that lets me. I can't handle what all's happening. We all know, we know shit's going to be going sideways in the house. I'm a single dad with 3 boys. It's chaos from 6 to 7:30 every morning.
Right.
So I just have to get up and kind of be dad and do my thing. But after I drop the kids off, before I start, that's when I do my little morning routine to just get me ready for the day, right? And so for law enforcement, it is so important to help people and understand. Okay, hey, just learn how to create a little time in the morning, before you jump into the chaos to get yourself regulated. Yep. So what kind of things are you doing on a kind of daily routine? Or
one of the things that I use for my steady mind is think about 3 things in your life.
Oh yeah, gratitude, right?
That you're thankful for, and if you just think about those, I mean, you can. What? My life is pretty good.
Right.
I've got a great wife. I've got a great kid, and I got a roof over my head.
That's more.
Let's go.
Yeah, right.
Let's go.
That's it.
Yeah.
And it's understanding our brains, and that's a lot of what we talk about at My Steady Mind. Is like all of our brains have a negativity bias. It's a survival mechanism. And so most people are getting up, and that's why all this stuff we see on social media, news media and social media placates to that. They know the thing that gets views is outrage and fear, right, and envy. Those are the and so all their stimulus. That's why they do all these crazy cop stuff, and they show it because they want to generate outrage, and I want to, so it's a systemic conditioning, right? But when you're in the middle of it, and you're that officer that's out there trying to just actually protect and serve the community, right?
Right.
You have to have these awareness because you're going to be caught up in that negative. But if you can just, I say all the time, you can't have a negative thought and a positive thought at the same time.
Yeah, that's
So,
fair.
so if I'm having shitty, positive, negative thoughts, I can just fire off those. We call them gratitude reps.
Mm-hmm.
3 things, right? Grateful that I've got an awesome wife. You know, I'm grateful that I've got a great kid and I've got a roof over my head.
Mm-hmm.
And it just stops the kind of spin
The
out.
negativity.
And it kind of, right. And it might just put you on this now. Okay, well, let's get up and go. Right.
Right. Let's recondition our
right.
mind.
And
positive.
You
Let's
hear
go.
a lot of, I like that you mentioned that, because a lot of them, there's probably, you know, a lot of the people I work with, you know, cops and military and a lot of alpha type people, they hear words like gratitude and they think that's like a soft skill. Right?
I can see that.
You know what I mean? And because a lot of times what they think is like, oh, okay, I got to go get a gratitude journal and get up in the morning and write 3 pages of things that you know, and it's like, no, that's not what you have. You know, I can't do that. That sucks, right?
Yeah.
It's just firing off those simple gratitude reps. You know, a few times throughout the day when you're feeling pissed off or ungrateful. You know, and so with your, you know, kind of day, what one thing I want to ask is, you know, what's one thing that, you know, people out there that I'll say just general population might not truly know about, you know, just a day in the life of a police officer, you know, misperceptions they may have about like what it's just actually like, you know.
You know, I think we're trying to do our best to now portray ourselves as human beings, because that's what every one of us is. And,
right.
You know, we're human beings with problems just like everyone else.
That's right.
And then we have to go deal with other people's problems.
Yeah.
And we have to deal with people at their worst of days.
Right.
With our own problems.
You got your own problems. Right?
And you know, it's tough to envision that if you haven't done it. So having your own problems and then going to work and trying to fix other people's problems.
Right.
It's a constant problem routine, and that's all you see, and it's tough.
Yeah.
So that's why we need mitzvah.
I know 100%. So what are some things that you do to just kind of help you kind of separate, you know, or create that space? Because that's the thing. I mean, you said it 100%, right? Everybody in every industry has just got their own problems in life, myself included.
Sure, right.
And so we're always kind of trying to work on that and do our thing. But that's why, you know, in law enforcement, like you said, you get to see the worst of everybody's day for the most part, you know, and so you have to be able to show up and be empathetic.
You do.
Be compassionate.
You do.
And you get a lot of empathy fatigue and compassion fatigue. And it's like, you know, where's somebody helping me with mine? You know, like I'm the one that's always giving and doing. And so, you know, one of the things I heard that really hit home to me when I first started working in law enforcement, I think it was with Travis County, Austin, Texas, PD.
Okay.
One of their majors, and he summed it up, and he was talking about law enforcement. And he said a lot of people, you know, they go into law enforcement and they're working in an industry that they love that hasn't loved them back.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's where you see a lot of men and women in law enforcement. You know, it's like we're just giving and doing and pouring out, but it doesn't feel like, you know, anybody's asking us, how the hell are you doing?
I tell you what, you're right, Seth, but Palm Bay, man, on a whole, the citizens of Palm Bay are just, you know, shaking your hand, buying you lunch.
Right.
And it is a great feeling. You know, it's almost like they're trying to give back.
Right.
It's really, really exciting to work in a city that does appreciate you.
Oh,
so we are fortunate. You know, we're fortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're fortunate. And I've seen, like Austin or whatever town, I've seen videos of not quite the same thing, and I've talked to other officers at other areas, and they don't see that. It stinks.
Yeah, it does. You know, and I think, again, you know better than me, obviously, but it feels like there's a little bit of a kind of a change in perception. You know, I think we're starting to get the negative, evil villain cop persona perception is, I'll say, feels like just from watching, you know, it's lightening a little bit. Like kind of, I think people are starting to understand. I think what I've seen happen with a lot of this, like defund the police and those things that they were doing, is like we realize, like, hey, that's probably not a good idea. You know, whoops. Like you know, these men and women out here protecting and serving are critical to just the health and well-being and livelihood
of everyone.
Right. You know, and doesn't matter what side you lean or political. And I think people have, it's like we kind of went this far, and now they're like, okay, we do have to kind of right the ship a little bit.
Yeah,
You know?
I've seen that in the media somewhat.
Somewhat, yeah.
And I think that ship needs,
100%.
Yeah, needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you can't just kind of have everybody run amok out there, and because there's so many issues. And what has there been any kind of throughout your career, and you can go into as much or a little detail as you want.
Yeah.
Any kind of pivotal moments or things that happened that either taught you a really good lesson personally or professionally, or maybe made you think, hey, maybe I don't want to do this anymore, or kind of was the thing that reinforced, this is why I'm doing this. Any situations, scenarios that, like, you came home and you were just like, man, I'm glad I signed up for this.
Well, I don't know. It's the little calls for me. It's the little calls where you go, like, I've had an elderly residents call and need help with a smoke detector in the house, right? And those are calls we don't typically go to,
right?
But if I'm available, I'm going to that call, right? Yeah. Because I'm trying. I want to help this person.
Sure, yeah.
And just the gratitude you get from helping the
small thing.
Man, it feels good.
Yeah. Yeah, and I bet I would imagine it's a great answer. Like, it's those little things that you get to do that nobody else would think about. It's not the glamorous call.
It's not something you're going to tell anybody about.
You probably didn't. You just went.
I didn't.
You showed up. You did it. You saw them smile and say thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't have to come home and tell anybody. It's just like, that's the one I'm just keeping with me.
Absolutely.
And that's, I get to see that and do that.
Yeah, man.
Kind of get those little wins. Like, I need my little victories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when you can, I guess, we early on in the SWAT, when I was on the SWAT team, we had a call out, and there was some kids being held hostage, and during that conflict, one of the guys on scene, one of the suspects asked to speak with me.
Oh.
Because he knew me, and he knew I was pretty straightforward.
Right.
Long and the short of it is, I was able to, as a team, we got the kids out of the house, man.
Wow.
We got the kids out of the house, and ultimately, no harm came to the suspect.
Yeah.
We took him into custody.
Double bonus,
double win,
right? Like, got the kids out, no harm to the suspect, nobody got hurt, injured.
I will never forget that one. Yeah, man.
How did it feel, knowing that? Are you just kind of in there with the team, then all of a sudden comes across the radio, like,
I'm in there with
the he wants to talk to Parker.
He wants to talk to
like, what I hear on there?
What?
Yeah.
I'm not a negotiator.
Yeah, right.
Well,
that's what
team.
I was going to ask. I'm sure
we have negotiators.
Right. But this
guy only wanted to talk to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then was it over the radio?
Yeah.
Or did you kind of
I'm communicating on the PA of a vehicle, right? And he's yelling out the window back at me. So I'm
So you're talking on the PA, like the horn to the house.
Yes.
He's yelling back to you through the window.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. How long was the conversation? What kind of stuff was it?
15 minutes.
Okay. That's a pretty good clip of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
We got them out one by one.
That's so cool. Yeah, that's those are the things, again, like, especially when you can have it like that. Nobody got hurt, nobody got injured. We were able to resolve it, you know, and thank God you were there.
I don't know, man. They would have gotten it done anyway,
right,
but yeah, man. It was just chance, you know.
Yeah.
It was my third mission on the team, so.
Third mission, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What what if there's any kind of, I'll say, younger than maybe law enforcement or people out there, that would you give any advice, talking to younger folks coming up into law enforcement, like, just, hey, here's some tips, some techniques I'd encourage you. I know one you talked about was, like, learn how to not take things personal.
Learn how to not take things personal. Absolutely. I would give them some tips from my steady mind.
Yeah. Amen.
And also I would tell them once they are focused for each call, right? Focus before the call. treat everyone like as if that call you're going to, that's your mother, and she's called for help, called for assistance, whatever it may be. Investigate it to the fullest.
Yeah.
Because I have been on the receiving end of law enforcement. I've called and asked for help.
Right.
And I didn't get much help.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And that just fuels my fire to go out there and just follow up with each call to the fullest.
Yeah.
Because I don't ever want to experience that.
Right.
So.
And so when, not receiving it, like you call somebody, something's going on and it's just no response, they don't show up, or when they do, they just shitty attitudes.
Not a good attitude, a weak response, and they leave,
Yeah.
They didn't investigate anything,
Right.
And it's disappointing.
It is, and I think it's one of those things, the human behavior kind of coach in me is always saying, and what do all people want, right? They just want to feel like they matter. People just, and 99% of the time when somebody's pissed off or upset, it's just because someone or something made that person feel like they don't matter.
Absolutely.
Right?
So let them vent.
Yeah,
let the people vent.
Yeah, and that's part of one of our mental fitness kind of techniques and tactics and that's hard to do. Kind of back to like when somebody's let them vent, let them cry, let them complain. Don't feel like you have to cut them off and come over and shut them up and just kind of let them do their thing. That's how they're trying to get it out, whether it's at you or something else. But that's tactical, right? And then a technique I teach is because every fabric when that's happening around me, whether it's my ex-wife or somebody out in public that's coming at me, like I want to come over and just fix it and tell them to
right.
So I have to sit there and kind of let them. But I visualize a technique I use, a mental fitness technique, is I visualize them wearing a shirt that says "I matter." Right.
Got it.
So I see that I matter across their shirt, and it's my reminder that when they get done bitching or crying or complaining, I just need to say or do something that makes them feel like they matter, and it can de-escalate, right? And it can be as simple as just saying, "Hey, I want you to know you matter. You matter to me." And just when they hear that, that's all they want. And now we can now what's going on?
That's it.
But it's hard because we live in this world where it's just we said it earlier, right? It's learning, and I think this is something that would be smart to teach, like young recruits and stuff coming up in through the academy, is helping them understand that word of just being intentional throughout your day, right? Just if I got that call, and okay, let me just let whatever I was doing go. Let me be in this moment with what I have to do here. Be present,
Yeah.
And because if you show up and you're not present, and they're then they don't feel like you're
absolutely
paying attention, or their issue or their problem, even if it's dumb or small, could have been that fire detector, but that's a big problem for that person,
it was a huge problem.
It's huge,
Yeah.
And to show up and recognize it and say, thank you for calling me, I'm glad to help,
Yeah, and we can do all of these techniques and still keep your officer safety, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I just want to be clear,
right?
Officer safety is very important, right?
Always, sure.
And I'm not going to get into all the tactics of doing that, right? But we can be empathetic and show people that they matter at the same time. So
yeah, and I think it's just having that awareness. We talk about the emotional intelligence, self-awareness. How do I feel in the moment, right? Am I mad? Am I scared? Am I worried? Without judgment. Step 2, self-regulation. What do I do? It's like the BAMO breath. Let me regulate. And then, because if you're not regulated, it's hard to pick up on step 3, situational awareness.
Correct. Yeah.
It's hard to read the room. It's hard to kind of pick up on the energy of the environment if I'm unregulated,
Yeah, which is very important, right?
Yeah, I mean, situational awareness, right? Man. Learning how to read energy and read rooms. And then step 4, the hardest one, is situational regulation. That's where techniques like, how do I regulate somebody else's energy and emotion when they don't know how, which is most people,
right,
to get them to do what I need them to do, without having to use force or any other things. We always want to try to choose the easiest, softest way first.
Yep.
And I always say it's like this energetic dance, and that's a big part of what mental fitness helps people learn how to do,
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree, man.
All right. Well, we're going to get ready to wrap up, but
Okay.
a couple things. One, I want to talk about. Hey, thanks for coming in. Always great to chat with you. I'll
Yeah,
have to have
man,
you.
it's fun, man. We appreciate you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
sure
I'm
do.
grateful for you and all law enforcement people out there, but especially the local ones here in my town in Palm Bay PD. And so, one of the things that My Steady Mind, are doing in May's Mental Health Awareness Month, we launched what we called our No Mind Left Behind campaign. So the No Mind Left Behind campaign is a way for us to give back and help people get access to mental fitness training. And so what we're doing is we're making all of our online training. So now we have even more courses, like you went through kind of the main course back in the day. But now we have a mental fitness foundations, which is just a kind of one module, quick and easy course, that just teaches people BAMO and teaches people, takes like 30 minutes. It's just a real easy lift. So that's available coming this month, mental fitness foundations. And then we have the Mental Fitness Express course. So it's a 4-module online course that teaches a little more of the techniques and the tactics. And then the Mental Fitness Boot Camp, which is the 9-module. That's the full course, that teaches everything.
Okay.
But what we're doing is with the No Mind Left Behind campaign is we're going to make all those online courses free to first responders and veterans. Man. Yeah. And so Palm Bay, we're going to make you all one of probably, if not the first, police department that is going to have access to all of our online training.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, that's big time.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and so,
cool.
Yeah, and so you and I will connect, and I'll set up an access code for you guys, and then it's going to be great already having somebody like you in there that can be an ambassador, but you'll be able to, if you're talking to new people, whatever, like, hey, go use Palm Bay and do the Mental Fitness Foundations course.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
thanks, Seth.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And so it's going to give you guys access to this stuff, because that's all we want to do is help you, and because I'm grateful as a citizen to have amazing, folks out there protecting and serving, and it's always awesome to help you all, because I know the work you do is hard and complicated. And we got to make sure you're feeling good.
Man, I appreciate it. Yeah.
So we'll do that. And then the other thing I got for you too is, so here at My Steady Mind, or in the Dangerously Calm podcast and My Steady Mind, all of our guests, we have a local artist, a local resident that creates custom pictures for our guests. Yeah.
Okay.
So I got a little picture she painted here for you. So thought you might like that. Wow. It's always got the Space Coast theme, so we always wear.
Cool.
Yep. So it's got the BAMO badge on there, the SWAT. Yeah, show that there.
That's impressive.
Yeah. And so that's a hand painted custom
very
mural
cool,
there that you can keep. Yep.
And thank you, whoever.
Yeah, Julie is our artist. Yep. And
Julie.
so we have, we're on the Space Coast, so all of our stuff has a space theme to it. And so I was telling her a little bit about you, and she whips these up, and so. Yeah,
that's
wanted to give you that. Put it on the wall for sure. So
thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And Julie.
Yes, and Julie. Thank you, Julie. Your stuff is great. But that's it. Yep. Great chatting with you. As always, good to see you.
Same.
And keep doing good things. Keep bringing that mental fitness into the world of law enforcement, helping people out there. I think the No Mind Left Behind will help you extend it out, and we'll chat about. I can come over to the PD or something and maybe make an announcement, or however you want me to kind of help y'all get it out.
That would be great if you could.
For sure.
I want to make one clarification on something I said.
Go ahead.
I hope I'm certainly not saying that therapy is
bad. Right.
Right.
No.
There's a time and place for that, and I've had friends in law enforcement.
Yeah.
Who needed it.
Sure.
But if we can prevent